Docker can be a little hard, right? I mean, I've had to make 3 videos just to explain how to do stuff with it, but throw those videos out. We've been doing things the hard way. I can't believe I wasn't using this tool before. It's a beautiful web GUI that makes deploying and managing Docker not only stupid easy, but delightful. I'm gonna show you how to install and start using Portainer. And get this, it's free and really easy to set up. I mean, you'll be up and running in like 30 seconds.
The coolest feature is that you can use Portainer to manage all your Docker containers across all hosts, no matter where they are. So don't miss me showing you how to set it up later in the video. And thank you to Linode for sponsoring this video.
So this is kind of weird, but Portainer itself is a Docker container. Inception. Which makes it pretty easy to deploy anywhere. Literally, you can put it on a Raspberry Pi, just not this many. It can be in WSL, it can even be on the computer you're using right now. Anywhere you can run a Docker container, it'll work. And because you can run Docker pretty much anywhere, you don't need anything, you're good. Except for coffee. You always need coffee for everything in IT, right? NetworkChuck.coffee. And make sure you hack that YouTube algorithm. Have you done that yet today? You gotta hit the like button, notification bell, comment, subscribe. You gotta hack YouTube today. Ethically, of course. Now the good news is that no matter where you put it, the installation steps are the same. So whatever you got, feel free to follow along with me right now. That's kind of a tongue twister. Now for me, I'm gonna install Portainer in the cloud with Linode. Now I'm doing that because it allows me to access all of my containers across all environments, no matter where they are. And yeah, even my home lab behind my firewall. Now Portainer has 2 elements, the Portainer server and the Portainer agent. But you won't always need both. For example, if you just have one host, one server or one laptop, one computer running your Docker containers, all you'll need is the Portainer server. We'll install and run the Portainer server on that one host, and it will automatically start managing your existing Docker environment. That's it. The agent comes in when you have remote host. You'll install the Portainer agent on that remote host, which will allow your Portainer server to manage that sucker. Again, Abbey's gonna show you how to do that here in a bit, so stay tuned. So to put it simply, all you'll need is just one computer. Can really be any computer at all, as long as it can run Docker, which will install Docker on that sucker. And once it has Docker, we'll then install Portainer. So I'm gonna head out to linode.com/networkchuck to get my cloud VM set up.
Actually, I'm gonna deploy it.
So Linode is what I use for pretty much all my lab stuff and my work stuff. It's how I run my business. Whenever I need to test anything, Linode is always my first stop because I can quickly spin up a VM in just like a few seconds. And it only costs me like 0.0075 cents per hour. Choose the cheap one. There we go, Linode 1 GB. Now, if you are gonna leave this up like me, because it is Portainer, I wanna manage my stuff all the time, we're talking like $5 a month. That's it. But if I were just testing something real quick, which I do like every single day, I would just spin this up and then delete it. And if I only had it up for an hour, it cost me 0.0075 cents per hour. That's pretty cool. You gotta name it.
That's good.
You gotta name it. Was that password 123?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Click that box so I can log into it. Just create. Just click create.
I'll SSH.
No, the one above that.
Also, if you're new to Linode, check out my link below, and you'll get $100 credit for 60 days, making this lab free.
She did a pretty good job, huh? So I'm gonna SSH into that box real quick. And if you're not using a Linode Cloud VM, make sure you have your terminal set up and whatever you're using. And this will seriously take about 30 seconds, so a quick coffee break and we'll zoom through this. And here we go. First, let's update our repositories. Nick, put the time on the clock somewhere. Sudo apt update. That's it. Coffee break. Done. Now let's install Docker if you don't already have it. Sudo apt install docker.io-y. Ready, set, go. Coffee break. Okay, Docker is installed. Now let's run a quick container just to make sure it is working and running. So we'll do a Docker run. I'll do a switch ITD, expose some ports for 80 to 80, and we'll do the Nginx image. Ready, set, go. And done. Seems like everything's working. Let's do a Docker PS to make sure it's there. There he is right there. So Docker's good. And now we only have one thing to do. Install Portainer, which itself will be a Docker container, which is pretty cool. Now, before we run the Portainer container, we're gonna create a Docker volume. This volume will contain all our Portainer information, keeping it persistent. One easy command, Docker volume create. We'll call it Portainer stuff _stuff. And now with one command, we'll deploy our Portainer container here in Docker. Now all commands will be below, so I'm gonna copy and paste mine right now. There she is. A few things going on here you wanna pay attention to. First, we're exposing ports 9443 and 8000. Remember that. And then we're doing two cool things with volumes. First, with a -v command, we're mapping some Docker specific things to Portainer so that you can access your existing environment on that local host. You kind of want that. I think you want that. And then we're also mapping that volume that we just created to keep our Portainer data persistent. Now that's enough talking. Let's run the sucker. Enter and go. Done. Was that 30 seconds? I'm gonna believe it was 30 seconds. Let's do a Docker PS to make sure it is there. There he is, Portainer. And that, my friends, is the last time you'll ever have to run Docker via the CLI. You're done. Forget all those commands. You don't have to think about them anymore. Probably not, but you'll use them a lot less. So let's actually see if Portainer's working. Let's access that beautiful, delightful, delicious web GUI. I have too much coffee. So as I mentioned earlier, I told you to remember the ports we're exposing. One of those ports we're gonna pay attention to is port 9443. That's how we're gonna access this stuff. So I'll navigate to the IP address of my virtual machine in the cloud with Linode. I'll go to port 9443. And gotta make sure I specify HTTPS. Hoo-hoo, and things are happening. Let's proceed past the unsafe, scary messages. And Portainer is loading. Let's zoom this up. Now, like most things, you'll wanna set up your username and password, do something secure, and then tell it not to watch you, and then click on Create User. That's it. That's done. All we'll do right now is just click on the Get Started whale right there. You are now managing your Docker environment in Portainer. So your installation is complete, and you probably are like, wow, I wanna just click around and play with all the goodies, and you know what? Go ahead and do that. But if you wanna hang with me just for a little bit and have a few extra sips of coffee, I'll show you a few things just to get you started. And also don't forget, if you wanna access remote Docker environments with the agent, Abby's gonna show you that here in a moment. But here, real quick, notice, the environment is giving us a scary message. None selected. That's because we don't have one, well, selected. Let's go and select our local guy right here. This is our local machine where Portainer is running. Bam. Whoa. Did you see that? We just got a ton of cool new options on the side here. Things you might recognize like, I don't know, containers, images, networks, volumes. And not only that, we got a pretty little dashboard right here. Ooh, I love it so much. Because yes, Docker is cool, but it's like when you deploy one, you're like, okay, I don't really see it. How's it going? I don't know, I can do a Docker PS, but it feels kind of like weird. This gives you a window. You can see everything. I love that. And pretty much everything you can do in the Docker CLI, you can do here. And it's a little bit easier. You don't have to remember all the switches and the syntax. Now, a few cool things. Let's jump into containers real quick. Click on that stuff right there. And there's our containers. And honestly, for a second, I thought that said Thirsty Elon. I wish it did. Now, from here, you can do pretty much anything you want. Start, stop, restart your containers. But what's also cool is notice this little icon right here. That's a terminal icon. So right here inside Portainer, I can click that icon, click connect, and I'm just inside my Docker container. Just like that, and my web browser. That is stinking powerful. I love this. Now let's disconnect. It'll cleanly back out. If I use my breadcrumbs at the top and get back, they're all still running. They're cool, they're beautiful. Now before I set you loose and you go crazy with this, what do you say we create a container? Let's just walk through a basic container config. I'll click on add container right here at the top. We'll name it, and the rest of this is just so much fun. Like for example, you can search Docker Hub from right here. So maybe I want to install Kali. I can just simply search it. There it is. I'll jump in there and copy that, put that here. As I scroll down, I can do some port stuff. Let's publish a network port right here. On the host, let's say it's 8445, and on the container, it's 71. I'm just making up stuff, but you can do that just like that. Or you can click on expose all ports to random host ports, which is pretty cool. You can do access control, which is powerful. We can do auto remove, and we could be done at this point, but we got more options. We can do volumes. We can do networks. Restart policies. I mean, we can do everything from right here, and it's nice and pretty. Let's do interactive and TTY console as well. Okay, I think I'm good. I'll deploy it real quick. Deploy. Done. There's Thirsty Musk right there. Let's get into his command line. Connect. Kali Linux, just like that.
Now the part you've been waiting for. How to install the Edge agent. Again, this will allow you to manage remote Docker environments from your Portainer server. So first, we're gonna go look at environments. Where am I at? Whoa, I started really high.
The joke. What are you doing?
Trying to circle it. Just click on that. Environments right there. And then click Add Environment. Beep. From here, we're gonna click on Docker, which is this little half whale with blocks. And scroll down and click Start Wizard.
Watch out, babe. Now here you have two options for an agent. The default agent, he's pretty cool. And what he'll do is just sit there and wait for your Portainer server to talk to him. Now, the problem is that if your Portainer server is in the cloud like mine is with Linode, you're gonna have to open up ports on your home network and your firewall to enable the Portainer server to reach this guy. So if you're dealing with environments that are behind a firewall or not locally reachable from your Portainer server, then you might wanna consider the Edge agent, which is what Abby's gonna show you how to do
right now. We're gonna click on the Edge agent and scroll down. We're gonna name the environment our house. You can leave the Portainer server the way it is. There are more settings if you need them, but we don't need them right now, so we're gonna click on Create. Okay, now we're gonna click on Docker Standalone, and we are gonna copy this code. Then we're gonna paste this in a remote environment. So now we're gonna paste and hit enter, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna hit enter. Oh, we need some sudo. So I'm gonna hit the up arrow. I'm gonna hit Control A to get to the beginning of the command. And then I'm gonna type in sudo space enter. It's downloading and we're in.
We're not in use though. It's running.
It's installed. I'm back at my Portainer. What's happening?
She's doing a good job, huh? So now Abbey just showed you how to install the agent. With that command we generated from Portainer, it should automatically be connected now without having to expose any ports. Didn't she do a great job? Okay, so here notice that we do have another environment. It looks a bit different, and the status is heartbeat, but because it's green, I'm gonna assume that's a good thing, and I think it is. If I jump in there, boom, there's my remote environment, my 15 containers, which is awesome. I can restart any one of these. Let's do Callie here. Restart him, restart it. So cool, and let's see if I can actually access him. So let me click on the console, connect. Oh, that is so cool. I am accessing a Kali Linux box from my cloud Portainer to my home lab. That's amazing, right? No ports exposed. So Portainer is incredibly powerful. I'm not gonna go over all the features right here, but some things you might wanna look out for. For example, a lot of the stuff I've covered in my videos you can do easily here. Networks, you can create networks crazy easy. Another one is stacks. Stacks is their name for Docker Compose. So if I jump in there real quick, notice I already have a stack there, and it's actually from my current environment, my home lab. I already had a Docker Compose template deployed, and notice I really can't do anything to it, which I don't like. I wanna manage it all from Portainer, so I'm gonna go to that host real quick. I'm gonna stop it. And with that gone, if I refresh it, actually it should show me here. It's gone. Now I'm gonna add a new stack. I'll call it stacks on stacks, on stacks, on stacks, on stacks. Okay, that's enough. I'll use my web editor, or I could upload a file. I'm just gonna paste the file right here. The massive compose file used in the previous video. And then click on deploy stack. That's it. So now I've deployed like, I think 14 containers with one command, one stack, and I can see them all here. And I can manage it right in Portainer, and it's beautiful, and I love this, and it's my favorite thing now. That's Portainer. Isn't it amazing? I love how it makes Docker more approachable to people. With Portainer, you can do a ton of stuff with ease. So let me know what you think. Are you going to deploy Portainer in your lab, or do you use something else? And let me know how Abbey did. Do you want to see more of Abbey on the channel? I think she has a flair for teaching. We'll see how she does.